This is the completed modified Sunslate array. All tested, both sides work. Because the way this is built is that each half of that center line is 10 Sunslates wired in a series, and they've got separate home run cables, and they're wired in parallel up at the house. That's to limit the current, because each of these has an operating current of about 3.5 amperes or so. Probably slightly less than that. Haven't had a chance to test it because due to a very low angle of the sun at this time of year, it only produces about half capacity. But slide in with a 12 gauge wire, which is one of the reasons why it's got 2 separate home run cables, but the wire was free. If I got some stuff like a 10 gauge wire or 8 gauge wire, I probably have multiple strings of 10 on the same thing, on the same home run cable. And the reason for the 10, which means it has an maximum power potential of about 25 volts or so, is because this is connected to a maximum power point charge controller, and they can handle that, and in this case it allows for a higher capacity array for the same size home run cable. And of course, because all the modules are just about the same, the only difference is being in them being the tested short circuit current. Other than that, they've got fairly similar maximum power potential, maximum power specifications. And because the potentials are about the same, they can easily be wired up because wired up to the same maximum power point charge control, because the different currents make no difference because those are in separate strings. But anyways, and one of the things I'm probably going to be doing to it at some time if the weather's warm enough is paint the wiring black, because this is not technically supposed to be used in this application. It's multiple specification wire to meet the standards for THHN, THWN, and MTW. And so it's okay for exposure to water, and although the film here is peeling off, it does have this extra coating on it, which is designed to protect it from damage when it's exposed to oil. But I don't know, seeing as it doesn't really usually rain hydrocarbons, that isn't much of an issue. And what I'm going to be doing is wiring up coating the junction boxes, like put a little bead of silicone around where the wire enters, and probably also fill in the top holes, because the top set of holes on a Sunslate junction box are just a straight through, because the official way of wiring it up has some cables with some weird plugs on the end that go into the pair of holes, and the way they're open so that you can insert the plug is there's a little number 10 spanner thing right here, this little orange thing, and you insert your screwdriver, turn it, it opens up the contact so that you can insert the plug, or in this case the wire, because the orthodox way of wiring it would be a bit more complicated, because I'd have to get all the special proprietary connectors for these, and it's just much cheaper and much easier to do it this way, even if it looks kind of weird. But then again, for a 150 watt plus array, everything was $40, half of that being the cost of the wood. And of course the weight of it helps as ballast, because these are made on these Eternit fiber cement tiles, which pretty much have the laminate glued to them, and these things are kinda on the fragile side, but they're really heavy. Each of these not cut down weighs almost 10 pounds. Now they probably weigh about 6.5 pounds each. Haven't had a chance to weigh one yet. That's just cutting some trees for firewood. But you can see like there's a chunk out of the top one, and some of the others have had cracks when I was popping off the wire retention clips, because ordinarily there'd be little plastic clips here and the wiring would slot into that, but those are unnecessary in this application because the wire is rigid, because it's solid core wire as opposed to the stranded 13 gauge stuff that the official cables use, but those, the ends are tinned so that the contacts inside this can more effectively grip them. And another thing is that to prevent, or at least to make it slightly harder for attempts to steal the things, these are wired in with these are mounted with deckmate screws. They have a number 25 star instead of the much more common Phillips. Very few people happen to have T25 star bits lying around. And another advantage of these is that it's much harder to make them cam out, and they'll stay, if you don't do too much stupid stuff with them, they'll stay on the bit, so that it's easier to drill, so it's easier to just have things stay on the bit and then drill it in, and you don't need multiple assistants to assemble the thing. But, so, uber cheap solar thing of the day.